Hey, how's it going, guys? I figured I would, since I'm making rolls, I would share with you guys the bread recipe, the roll recipe I've been using. I've been making bread too, but my family seems to enjoy having their sandwiches on bread rolls, and tonight I am making homemade chili, so I'm going to make rolls to go with that. So I figured why not turn on the cam and share with you guys what I've been doing, what I've been making, and I don't know, maybe you guys can check out this recipe if you don't use it. So anyway, this is a double batch of my the basic white bread recipe that I've been using. Mason is playing at my feet here. So basically what I did is I just doubled it. So what I have here for rolls is 6 cups of I'm using bread flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. I'm just using bread flour. Here I have 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. I have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of softened butter. I have 4 tablespoons of dried milk powder. You can also use a cup of warm milk instead of this. I have 2.5 cups of water here. If you use the milk, it'll be a cup and a half of warm water and 1 cup of milk. And then you can eliminate the dried milk powder if you don't have that. I just like using the dried milk powder because it goes a long way, and it's cheaper than using my whole milk in this. So yeah, so that's the ingredients, and let's get started. I'm going to take you over to my laptop and turn on my webcam because it'll be easier than trying to hold this camera steady for you guys. So all right, let's go. Okay, all right, so we're at my stand mixer. I would do this by hand and show you guys how I've been making it by hand up until the point I got my mixer, but my carpal tunnel is really bad, so I'm not going to be able to hand knead it for you guys. So we'll just do it this way, and sorry, you're probably seeing the bottom of my laptop here. I think this is about as good as I can get it for you. So, all right, so the first thing that I add in here, of course, is my warm water. Again, 2.5 cups because I'm using milk powder instead. But if you're using whole milk or milk in lieu of the powder, it would be a cup and a half of water and a cup of warm milk. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sprinkle on my yeast. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in my flour on top of all that. This is where one of those shields would come in handy, yeah. My dad said, get a pour shield. Yeah, I think I will. All right, so we got our flour in there. Then on top of that, I'm just going to sprinkle on the salt, sprinkle on the milk powder, and then I'm going to just pluck the butter inside. Okay, then I'm going to get my dough hook here. And now, of course, using your dough hook, never go past level 2. I started off at a level 1, and then I move up to a level 2. Just so that no flour splashes up on me. Okay, now once I start seeing that it's all incorporated, I go ahead and I get my timer and I set it for 5 minutes. And then I let this knead on level 2 for 5 minutes. Okay, that is it. Just pull it down. Make sure you have nice clean hands. Take your dough hook off. And see our dough. So let's take it over to the board. Okay, so there's my dough. And I'm just going to take my dough scraper and just get it right out of the bowl. Like so, onto my board. And now, if you're using a KitchenAid mixer, you don't have to knead this. This is all done for you. And I don't know if you can see how pretty that is. It almost feels like, I know Noreen describes it as feeling a newborn's booty. It does feel like that. But for those of you not lucky enough to ever feel a newborn's booty, it feels almost like molding clay. For anyone who's taken a ceramics class, or modeling class, or almost like fresh Play-Doh, maybe. So, but you'll see that it's nice and smooth, and that's what you want. You don't want it really lumpy. And so what we do now, what you're supposed to do, what I do, is I just pull and form my bowl that way. My bowl, my ball. So I pull and tuck under, and then underneath, all I do with this is I'll just pinch it, just to form it, just to bring it all together. You just want a nice pretty ball of dough. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some spray. Got some spray here, some nonstick spray. I got mine at GFS because it was a huge bulk size can. I'm just going to go ahead and spray the inside of my bowl. I'm going to use a different bowl because I'm actually going to be reusing this for some orange rolls that I want to make. So I'm going to go ahead and then just place my ball right inside. I'm going to go ahead and spray the top. And what I use is, and I think I posted them last time in one of my haul videos. They're called Cover Mates, and they're $2 at Walmart. But the large size fits my bowls perfectly. They're basically bonnets or shower caps for my bowls. So I just cover it like that, and it's so much easier than plastic wrap. And if your dough rises and touches this and gets it a little oily, just wash it off with some soap and water and hang it to dry. And I reuse mine. I know some people throw theirs away, but I'm not. No, what is it? Waste not, want not. There you go. So what I do now is I'm going to take this over to my oven. I'm going to warm up my oven to 400 degrees. Once it kicks on, I'm going to count 15, and then I'm going to shut it off. And that basically, just because I live in Michigan, the inside of my oven is pretty cold. So basically just doing that warms up my oven, takes the chill out of it. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on my oven light. I'm going to place this on the top rack, and I'm going to let this rise for an hour. So we're going to go ahead and get my timer. I'm going to go ahead and put my dough inside the oven. The oven is the best place in my house because there's no drafts, and the oven light gives off enough heat and humidity apparently to rise your dough beautifully, and it works great for me. So I notice if I just keep it out like on the counter or even on the back of my stove, unless my oven is on and running, my dough doesn't rise as well as it does if I place it in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and I'll see you guys in an hour. Okay, guys, we're back. It's been an hour, and my bread has more than doubled in size. So we're going to go ahead and take the bonnet off. And this is what my kids like to do. They like to punch the dough, but you don't really want to punch your dough. What's the matter, baby? You don't really want to punch your dough. You just want to deflate it gently and get all the air bubbles out. You see all the air bubbles popping out there. So I just do that. So you guys can see that. Now remember, this is a double batch. Your batch will be half this if you're making loaves of bread. So once I've deflated it, I just go ahead and roll it out onto my board here. You guys can use your counter. I used to flour it, but I don't find that I need to flour it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna, and I think sorry if you guys are bouncing around a little, so you can see that. So just kind of press it out. Really just trying to make all the air bubbles go away. Kind of even out the dough a little bit. This recipe really makes for really good dough. It's not sticky. It's not hard to work with at all. So once I've got it all pushed out and all of my air pockets are worked out, I go ahead and I roll it up. You guys can see that, hopefully. See if I move you back a little bit. Is that better? Okay. Alright, so then I take it and I'm just going to roll it. Okay, and then I take it, and that seam that you see there, I just pinch together. Okay, and then on the ends, I go ahead and I poke it all in, and I just bring the side up, the bottom up, I guess you would say, and I just kind of pinch it all together. I do the same thing on this side. I just take the end, poke in the center, and bring that bottom part up, and then I just go ahead and pinch it all together. And I just roll it over and see if you have if you have little air bubbles, any air bubbles left. Now's the time to kind of pinch them out. And then I just try to get my roll here, my little log of dough, as even as I can. That way my rolls come out pretty even. And then once I've got it all set, I have my My dough scraper also has a, and this my husband picked up for me from Bed Bath & Beyond. It's the Betty Crocker one. It also has a dough cutter on the end, so it makes it really easy to cut dough instead of using a knife. So what I do is I cut my dough log in half, and then I will cut each piece in half, and then in half again, each piece. And this just is a great way to guarantee that each of your pieces will be even. So then once I do that, I usually take my pieces and I will cut them in half the other way. Because if I do it this way, I don't know, they're just too long and kind of hard to roll. This way makes a little bit more of an even roll for me. Now these rolls are still going to want to rise on you because they're nice and warm. So go ahead and cut them each in half. And so you have, what do you have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 rolls. Now, this will last one dinner and then sandwiches for tomorrow, or the boys actually like to come home and actually snack on these. So instead of snacking on potato chips now, they're actually coming home and grabbing a roll, which is nice. So what I do is I just slide my board over. Again, I don't need any flour. This recipe for this dough is just so nice because you don't need any of that. It's not sticky at all. So what I do here with one of these little sections of dough is I do the same thing as when I form my dough ball before it rises. I tuck, and I do this about 4 times, and it just gets me this little punchki of a roll here. And then I go ahead and I flip it up and I flip it over and I just pinch the underneath to make it all nice and even. And then what I do is I take it and with my hand, like a claw, I just kind of roll it on the counter. Nice big circles, nice loose circles. And I've got a little air bubble there. If you got a little air bubble, just pinch it out. And it makes and forms the perfect little dough ball, right? So then when I do with those, I'll take a cookie sheet, my biggest one that I have, and I'll go ahead and I'll spray it with the nonstick spray. And I will place my little dough ball on the cookie sheet. And we'll go ahead and we'll make another one together. So you got your little square dough ball here. You're just going to tuck and pull, tuck and pull. Now, if you're noticing that it's taking you a little bit, you know, when I first started making these, it took me a while to kind of pound these out. What you can do with your dough is, well, I use flat fold cloth diapers. Of course, you don't want to use ones that you've used on your kid's booty, but these were just kind of used as little like burp rags when he was a baby. A lot of them went unused, so they're still like new. So I've taken those and washed them up real good, and I use these now to cover my dough. So you can go ahead and keep your dough covered. And you form another little ball. You have your perfect little dough ball here. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my pan. And you just keep making these until you have them all done. So there's 4. Yep. And then pinch. And my family absolutely loves these rolls. Now I bought some toasted sesame seeds. I bought some black poppy seeds. And so you can sprinkle those on top too if you want your bread rolls to have like a little topper. You could also top them after they bake with some little bit of melted butter and some garlic and make them into little garlic rolls. So this is basically it. So I'm going to go ahead, I won't bore you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of my balls here, and I will be back when I'm all done, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so once you have them all done, I just give them a light spray on top. Now these will go back. Those are my 4 little lonesome ones, and then I have another whole tray here. Let's show you this one. You see them? See them? So pretty. So these are going to go back under a tea towel or, you know, a cotton cloth like I have for another 30 minutes, and then I will be back. I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. And then I will be back to show you what they look like after they rise a second time and right before we put them in the oven. Now, while I'm letting these rise, I'm going to put them on top of my stove, on the stove top, and I'm going to turn on my oven. And the heat from the oven underneath will help them rise even more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to set our oven to 375 degrees. So if you're at this point, go ahead and warm up your oven, and I'll see you back in 30 minutes. Okay guys, our timer is going off. I'll just shut it off. I'm going to come on over here and show you the bread that has risen. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this in the oven. And these are going to bake, about 20-25 minutes. You want to do it until they're slightly golden brown. I don't know, it's more of a look than anything else. So when they're lightly golden brown, we will pull them out. It's about 20-25 minutes at least for my oven. So we're going to go ahead and put them in. I'm going to put the big tray on the bottom. And these. Now sometimes I will put all of the rolls on one cookie sheet, but I wanted to make them prettier for you guys, so I didn't smash them and cram them all together. So anyway, I'm going to go and set up. I'm going to make some cider mill muffins, some cider mill muffins that taste like cider mill donuts. So maybe I'll vlog that and share that recipe with you guys. So maybe I'll be back. All right, once these are done cooking, I'll be back and show you what they look like. Okay guys, it's 3 minutes left on the timer, and you guys will see, I'm just going to grab a cloth here, that the top rolls are ready. Let me grab my thing here. See the pretty light brown color that they turn? So, and they'll have a nice hollow sound to them. These are getting there. I want them a little bit browner, so I'm going to let them finish up. But these are all set and ready. So I'm going to go get my cooling racks and place them on the cooling racks, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my cooling racks all set up. We'll see if I can do this without covering the sound here of my little camera. So I like to place them on the cooling rack so that I don't know, they tend to get a little soft on the bottom, and everybody likes the crispy bottoms. So if you put them on cooling racks, they kind of crisp up a lot better than if you leave them on the pan. I bought these set of 2 for $6 at Walmart, so if you're wondering where to get them, you can get them right at Walmart. Super easy, super cheap. And yeah, alright, so we're just going to wait for these little guys to brown up, which shouldn't take much longer. I probably have another minute or so on this timer. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. And just give that a couple more minutes. And I will show you these when they come out of the oven. Alright, so these are ready to come out of the oven. They've browned up pretty. So that's what they look like. Now sometimes what happens, they kind of cook together. I just take my spatula and kind of disconnect them. Easy peasy, no problems. So this is it, bread rolls. Super, super delicious. There's nothing like a fresh bread roll, either with like tonight chili, or making homemade soup, or making a ham sandwich. It's the best. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer all these over. I am not good at doing two things at once when it comes to holding the camera. So I apologize for that. So there we go. And I'm going to take one of these that's been sitting out, and I'm just going to cut into it to show you guys what it looks like here. Grab my bread knife. Okay, there we go. Ready? You don't want to push too hard. You just let the weight of the knife cut the roll for you. And there you have it. Beautiful bread rolls. You can see, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that. It's still pretty hot. But yeah, how nice. So nice. So you can have those with a little bit of butter. Sometimes I'll make them a little bit bigger, and then I will cut a hole out of the top with a bread knife and dig out the center and put soup in it, or you can put chili in it, top it with cheese, onions, and sour cream. Yeah, you can pretty much do anything you want to them. So yeah, simple bread roll. This is what I've been making. This is what my family is loving right now. So yum. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you give this recipe a try, comment below and let me know how you liked it. Alright, take it easy guys. Bye.